Well, hello and welcome. I have someone very special that I would like to introduce you to today, and that's why we are here. It's not even a Wednesday, it's actually a Friday. So I'm coming to you from Colorado Springs, and this is a woman who is doing wonderful work in the world, and that's who I always want to support. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit more, or let her tell you a little bit more about who she is, what she's up to, and what's coming up on March the 19th. And so Annemarie Claire is a teacher, a coach, a workshop leader, and speaker. She holds an MA in counseling and is a certified HeartMath trainer and coach. Annemarie shows you how to use the power of your heart to transform your life. When you live courageously from the heart and stand in your value, your life becomes integrated and whole. Annemarie Claire is the founder and president of Clear Directions. For over 25 years, she has helped world-class scientists, business professionals, and people live their best life by learning to live heart first. Welcome, Annemarie. I would love it if you would tell us a little bit about HeartMath.
Thank you, Regina. HeartMath is a global organization. They've been around at least since the early 1990s. The organization was founded by a man named Doc Childrey. He created a set of tools for himself, and he wanted to find out if they would work for other people. He taught them to his colleagues, and when they worked for them, he knew they were onto something big, but they knew they had to do their homework before they took them to the public. So they spent over 10 years doing scientific research as to why these tools worked and why they made such a difference. And today, HeartMath is a global organization in many, many countries around the world. Their tools are taught in all 4 branches of the military, Fortune 500 companies, and in schools to children as young as 2 years old. And one short little story that demonstrates their value, a colleague of mine was working with some high school seniors who couldn't pass their exit exam. She taught them the HeartMath tools for just 3 weeks. And at the end of 3 weeks, they all went on to pass their high school exit exam, just demonstrating that it wasn't that they didn't know the answers. There was just too much anxiety in their system, and they couldn't access the resources that were already there inside them. And these same tools are helping business people succeed and families be more connected with each other.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know, I've known about HeartMath for several years, about their research, and I've read the book, but I can't say that I was really practicing. And then I know recently you did a workshop that I attended, and I got reminded of and introduced to and excited about the tools again. And so I've been practicing now for 2, 3, 4 months, pretty faithfully. And I know that it makes a difference in my life and coming out of the brain field. And so much nowadays is people talking about brain-heart coherence. And so I think that's a term that's probably really familiar to a lot of people, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what drew you to HeartMath and how this has made a difference in your life.
Sure. I've been with HeartMath for a long time. Back in the 1990s, I found HeartMath. And initially, I just read about them in a magazine, and one of their tools was in a little box, and I practiced it, and I couldn't believe how good I felt in just the briefest moment of time of practicing the tools. I'm sure that over the last few months, you've probably discovered that it only takes a little bit of practice to go a long way. It's not like you have to do it for hours a day, right, Regina?
Right.
Yeah. And so what I found that for me, I had like a lot of people, I had a very rough childhood. And so I came to adulthood unbeknownst to me with PTSD. And here I was, what I wanted most in the world was to be a good mom. And we all know how stimulating it is to raise little children. And I was doing a good job, but it was so much hard work for me because I had to work 10 times harder to manage myself on the inside because I had all this trauma from childhood. Plus, I didn't want to raise them the way I was raised. And so I was having to figure it out at the same time. I took many, many positive parenting classes. And in fact, I became a parent educator. That was what I first did for 5 years, taught parenting classes because I had to teach myself, right?
Right.
And what I found was over the years, practicing the HeartMath tools every day helped me rewire my nervous system. So there's no more PTSD. And that's actually a lot of what HeartMath has done in helping soldiers returning from the war when it was in Afghanistan. There's no more PTSD. And my nervous system is now wired more for safety. When you grow up with a lot of trouble in your childhood, your nervous system is on call 24 hours a day to defend you against threats. And it just becomes your normal state. And HeartMath helped me change the way my nervous system was wired. So now I can live a life that has connection and care and fun and well-being and calmness and peace, which is not what I was accustomed to growing up. And so it made such a huge difference. I always say HeartMath gave me my life back, the life I never had to begin with. And so I dedicated the rest of my life to teaching these tools to others, because I know with HeartMath, a little bit goes a long way in helping you have the life you want to have.
Well, I know that we're very blessed to have you in Colorado Springs. You haven't been here for all that long. We met at a eWomen networking event probably a year and a half ago. And since that time, we've gotten together, and there's been lots of things going on in the world. And so I feel like these tools are more appropriate. I mean, they are always appropriate, but they certainly seem to be very timely for the times that we're living in. And I know you've come up with some new ideas or content or the way you're putting things together. And so what is it that we can expect, or can you tell us a little bit more about this workshop that you're going to be doing?
Sure. And what you said is so true. The pandemic has raised the stress levels exponentially on the planet in the impact that it's had, making it harder for people to do the same things they did without as much challenge. So the HeartMath tools can be taught in many ways for many purposes. You can learn the HeartMath tools to reduce your stress. You can learn them to help you improve your performance. My new program is called Your Creative Heart. And I do teach people how to use the tools to help manage the stress, because you have to. I call stress noise. And you know what it's like when you procrastinate on something important. It ends up being noise in your system that gets louder and louder and makes it harder for you to enjoy what's working in your life, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking about what you haven't done that you need to do, maybe right now for everybody that's getting their tax papers in, right?
Right.
The longer you put it off, the more noise it creates. So any kind of pressure, time pressure, overwhelm, that's noise. So we have to learn to recognize it and quiet the noise. The analogy that I like to use is a smoke alarm in your house. You wouldn't let the smoke alarm keep making a racket while you went about your day. You'd shut it off and then go about your day. So we need to learn how to turn the noise of stress off or down. So that's the first part of the program. And then the second piece is we need to learn to build the capacity to handle whatever life throws at us. I mean, imagine what it would be like if you could pretty much handle any challenge life threw at you from a place of being steady and calm and consistent, that you had the energy and the resources to be able to do that. And I call that building your coherence capacity. So we're going to learn how to do that in this workshop because we want to be ready. We don't want to be tripped up every time the day has a surprise for us.
Mm.
And then we can take our tools that we learn and we can use them to create.
Mm.
We don't want to use our HeartMath tools just to manage stress. We want to learn to use them to listen to our heart's voice and live our heart's dreams from that creative place. And I will show you how to do that in the upcoming workshop.
That's fantastic. Because I do know because of the field I've been in, that's stress management is always, it's the first thing, calming the, sympathetic, parasympathetic, all the things. But also then we do, like you said, we want more than just living from this, managing stress.
Right.
But I know I'm in a space, this whole creativity thing that I've been talking to people about, and I'm interested in and exciting about accessing information from in my heart intelligence, right? That I want to know where to go, what to do, be at the right place, the right time. I don't want to just bump around through life. And if I happen to end up in the right place, but I really want to be connected and in alignment so that I can be where I need to be so that I can be the most that I can be, I guess, in this case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to spend our life just putting out fires.
Right.
Which is what managing stress is about. We also want to create outcomes, and an outcome is something you want. It's something that I want. It's not the opposite of a problem. It's something positive, but you can't get to outcomes if the noise is so loud that it's banging around in your head all the time. And when you talk about accessing intelligence, one of the things I'm going to share in the workshop is HeartMath has been studying the science of intuition, researching it for at least 15 or 20 years now. And I'm going to show you some of that research that demonstrates that the heart really has access to a field of intelligence. Wow. So that's one of the really fun things that we'll do in the workshop. Is we'll look at, there's so much more that there are more resources we can take advantage of so that we can have more meaning and fulfillment every day, not just when we're on vacation, not just on the weekends, but what would it be like if throughout each day you had more meaning and fulfillment?
It's fantastic. And me, I was the first one to sign up. So I highly, I definitely encourage anyone who's listening, if you have never heard of this information, or maybe it's been a while, or you need a refresher, or you want to come hear more about another level, moving more into creativity and out of just stress, I absolutely encourage you. It's a 2-hour workshop. It's only $40. We're going to be in Monument at the Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce on March the 19th, and we would absolutely love to see you there. And I will include the information, the contact information, and how to register in however this gets shared, but I'll make sure that you have that information. And again, thank you so much, Anne-Marie, for who you are and for the work that you're doing in the world and the difference that you've already made in my life, and hopefully that we can help others as well.
Thank you, Regina. I really appreciate how you're supporting this work in the world.
Awesome. So we will see you on March the 19th. Thank you.